Leaders create content, followers consume content. If you are wanting to be a business leader, I implore you to get the off of social media unless you are engage, educate, or entertain. I share these emotions and these experiences via social, and that is how people go, you love adoption? I love adoption. People want to be in business with people like them.
There are ways, like if you want to go real cheap, you can go to Etsy and they will pre-made all these ads about your business.
I didn't know that.
One of the companies I was talking to, they had outsourced it. The thing is because they didn't understand it, they outsourced it non-effectively. When I say Google reviews, you want to have two places that you're getting reviews. So like your Google My Business page, does it have Q&A on there? Do you have
reviews or do you have effective reviews? Because there are two different things.
Oh.
If I have two people and they're both equally good at the job and one person's a past client and one person has never supported me or any of my businesses, I'm going to go with my...
If you are paying somebody and you treat them like... Guess what? Today is about social media and how to utilize that in your business to actually make connections, and it's part of... and think of it as part of your database or your newsletters, right? It's where people hear from you and how you communicate with them.
Yeah, we probably in thinking about this, we maybe should have asked Angelique if she wanted to come on, because I'm going to give a lot of opinions based on professional experiences. And then yet she is the expert in the space with the master's degree in marketing and functionally does it on a daily basis and runs A/B tests and all that stuff. But I do feel like we have good insight here from two business leaders who run businesses that are largely fueled by social media and all those things. So I know you said in that when we were talking about it earlier, texting for briefly, it was also not just talking about business. And so I think that's a thing that we're going to get to is not all of your social interactions have to be, look at me, this is what I do, I sell this, please use me. Some of it is earning a connection, a genuine connection through social, which is actually part of why we started this podcast, is so people could get to know us outside of that. Even though we largely talk about business, you can see our mannerisms, our behaviors, our highs, our lows, and just real moments. And through this social connection that you guys are getting with us digitally, I've actually had people reach out and like, I've always heard Harrison was kind of a jerk. And I've gotten to know him through his podcast. Right. And I've come to realize he's just really serious about what he does. And it's just passion. It's not mean. And I'm like, yeah, I'm actually a really nice person.
Well, so I love... that makes me think of, so there was a clip where Steve Harvey was sharing, he and Denzel Washington was talking about the difference of how people react to them. Yeah. And Denzel was telling him, he said, when people see me, he said, they respond to me like the movie star. Like they go out, they spend money to go see me, and they're like, oh, Denzel.
Denzel's badass though.
Oh, he is. Oh, yeah. He said whenever they are, when they see Steve, he said, they're like, they invite you into their house. Like you're on their TV. They come in, they invite you into their house every day. So they come up to you and they're like, hey, Steve, like we feel like we know him. And that's what social media will allow us to do is people are inviting us into their house. People are inviting us. And so, and that's where with this, for me, where this kind of, when we were thinking about what we wanted to talk about today, several of the businesses that I coach, I've got, one that does an amazing job with their social media.
I feel like I know which one you're talking about. Okay. The electrical company. Yeah, they're actually
they do really good.
I went to an appointment and I hope can I say his name on here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Zach with ZB Electric. And look, he's not a personal sub of mine, and just because we have to go direct to labor in what we do, we're a construction company.
Well, interesting though, in your real estate world, a lot of your agents utilize him when they need things to be done. Yeah, because real estate.
And right. And so when I say we, I mean like me as a contractor, like in Lily Roofing, Lily Construction, in my renovation programs. But I went to a listing appointment with a lady today or this last week. And she was complaining. She said, well, I've spent like $40,000 on this and that. And I was like, the work that you're telling me is not $40,000. Can you please help me understand where all that money came from? And it was two electricians who had taken advantage of her and told her that her house was rewired. And they just took her money. And she said, well, I went after the cheap people. And I said, yeah. I said,
Get what you pay for sometimes.
Yeah, I said, Miss, I'm just going to call her Miss Sue that's not her name, but for the sake of anonymity, I think is how you say that.
That's not the word, but yeah.
For the sake of being anonymous, I don't know how else to say the appropriate word.
All names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Yeah. And she said, I just went for the cheapest person. And then, I got rooked, I mean, even one of the people came from her church and took her money, and then she said, well, I didn't want to pay the expensive professional, but then she called the expensive professional and did a wonderful job. She noticed the work and the care that they took with her home. And then he garnered a relationship with her over the process because she was kind of going through some things.
That's right.
And he was caring and he was kind. And she gave him the nicest heart. I mean, literally, her eyes were tearing up talking about how wonderful Zach and his team were to her. And it was an A+ experience. And so just because you're hiring one of the people that are deemed expensive, you got to make sure the value is in line. And then boom, magically, people go, I'm okay with paying that.
That's right. Well, it's 100%, it's the value.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, it is the value. So
welcome to another Olivia and Harrison rabbit trail.
That's right. But so one of the things,
but it's relational.
Yeah, it's relational.
He's relational, and now that translates over into Google reviews. That dude's business is
he's got 300 Google reviews right now.
Yeah, and he's been in business for how long?
He's been doing what he's like as a
ZB Electric. How long has the brand been alive?
Say 3, 4, 5 years,
3 years.
Like that.
Okay.
3 years, 4 or 5. It's very very much like half of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put that on comparison. My business has been alive for 9 years. I have 400 reviews. He's 3 years and 300 reviews.
Yeah.
He is intentional about his social media presence and displaying relationship online.
Correct.
He does a wonderful job at that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so this is Google reviews, right? And when I say Google reviews, you want to have 2 places that you're getting reviews, just so that you don't, because if something ever changes and you get, that one gets locked out or they change something. So whether it's, like Google though would be right now, that's going to be the first place you want Google reviews. So like your Google My Business page, does it have Q&A on there? Do you have pictures? Do you have you posted on there? So that's going to be part of it. And then
do you have reviews or do you have effective reviews? Because there are 2 different things.
Oh, well, so I love that because.
So tell me what an effective review looks like to you.
So give me 1 second because I do want to go there, but I want to say to complete that thought was so Google reviews, and then you want to have one other place, whether that is Facebook or if you're a realtor, Zillow, like whatever it is, but you want to have at least 2 places that people can put reviews. Okay. So now when you say effective reviews.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, there's a difference in a review, which is Harrison did a good job, right? That's a review. That's great, right? It's better than nothing. I would argue it's way better than nothing. But Olivia, tell me what you, in your belief is a effective review.
So, different levels, just kind of like you said, if you're going to give me a review and you're going to say, Olivia's great, I'll take it. And yet what is an effective review? So one of the coolest parts is, so whenever I call Summer, who works with Zach, she runs his operations, all the, the back end.
Sister? Yeah.
And
I used to serve her drinks back in the day. Yeah. She was always a really, really nice person.
She's super nice and she's effective. She's amazing. And one of the things that when she asked me about, or doing the review for me, she said, is there anything specific that you're looking to rank for? So you could tell, like, that is the intentionality, right? So 100%. So what are the words that you're looking to rank for? You can do a Google search to see in your industry what ranks, things like that, and help people learn how to do those effective reviews. So mentioning things that is what you're wanting to stand out for in your search engine optimization and things of that effect. So I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that's what's an effective review is using some of those words.
Yeah, and that's a broad stroke for what I teach in my companies. And so for us, it's Harrison was a great realtor for me in West Monroe, Louisiana. We bought a house in Westlake subdivision. It's the perfect family neighborhood. We're so in love with the school zone. Yeah. And then saw like things like character things. Harrison was honest, trustworthy, reputable.
And these are the and if you go one step further, so this is first, like, let's say you had just experienced some amazing service and you're looking to write a review for that company. All the things that he just said, and give specifics. Like that is really an amazing thing. Because if you think about it, like if you were going to buy a book, what do? We read the reviews. Now, I don't care that all the reviews are amazing. What I'm looking for is the preponderance, and does it land with me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
I see 5 reviews that say, I'm looking at 2 different service people or 2 different businesses
Right.
and trying to figure out which one I'm going to utilize. And I look at their reviews and it says, ABC did a good job. ABC answered the phone. ABC was really nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back in that review that I just talked about with the family and the house and the residential neighborhood and all that, and I see those reviews. I'm like, one of them did a service and they do it well. One of them is impactful in their intention and how they act.
That's right. Well, and again,
you're going to win with those reviews.
We're looking at, like, again, we talk about, like, imagine like people invited you into their house. And so you've, and, into your business, right, whatever. And yet, so whenever I'm looking and going, okay, you did let's say you did a great job. If I'm writing a review for somebody else, I'm going to say, be specific. Say, I had called around and asked for da-da-da. These people got back with me quickly. They communicated well. Like, whatever's important to you, whatever impacted you that you're like, yes, right? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it's even above something else. But be specific. If you're writing somebody a review, it's very helpful. And it's awesome.
Arguably one of the best gifts that you can give a business owner
1,000%
is an effective review. I know, Olivia is doing something right now, and you can share that if you want to. But she sent me her Google link and said, hey, because I utilize Olivia's services, and I left her a review, and in my review, did my best to connect with who I thought what the heart of your consumer would want, because I care about Olivia's success in her businesses. Right. And so I made sure that when I left a review, it wasn't Olivia's awesome. Yeah. It was... Which
I am.
I mean, I completely agree with that statement.
Not always.
And yet, like, I wanted people to know how I feel when I'm out of town and you're taking care of things for me. And that way they could go, well, that's what I want for my life and my babies, right? Mm-hmm. And so, that's the highest...
Yeah.
It's really outside of a direct referral, like, hey, you're looking for this, you got to use Olivia. She's awesome. Yeah. That's the next best thing that any business owner could ask for, is an effective review.
Absolutely. And so so if you're so when we're talking social media, so right now we're talking Google reviews, and we're going to talk some other pieces as well. But when you're looking at,
we'll get to you Facebookers.
That's right. But when we look at, so if you're a business and you have Google, do Google My Business, verify everything, get on there first off, and then make certain that you are, and sometimes that can be a booger, by the way, and it's okay. You can talk directly to Google. You can call me. There are other people out there that can help you get verified. And so,
and we do have a third party person. Now you got to pay her, just like you got to pay Olivia.
Yeah.
But she's a Google expert. She sets up all of my GMBs and stuff like that. So if you guys are ever interested and need connections, like, you're welcome to utilize me for free for my connections and who I use, because I love helping the people who help me make more money.
Well, 100%. So that's one of the things. So, like, if you're watching this and you're like, well, who would I ask? Ask us. The thing is
comment. We'll shoot you
if we don't do it, we can refer somebody to you. And even if we do it, we can refer some, we can say, hey, look, I do this, but these other people, and go talk to them and see which one fits you best, right?
Yeah. And so one thing you're going to notice about me is I don't refer my friends unless my friends are the best in this space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm 100%. Not sending you a referral where I wouldn't use them. And I'll tell you, like, I've never used them, so at your own will, like,
So funny that you say that. So we even talked about, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about even utilizing in social media, so when you need to hire somebody, you absolutely want to run the ads and things to that effect. And yet what we find is the people that tend to stay with you the longest, and we have the best hires, it's people that people that know them. So utilizing your social media to let people know what you're looking for, who you're looking for, talking to people and saying, this is what I'm looking for. Who do you know? And
that is dangerous if you're a business owner, though. No. So I feel like it is. I'm very slow. Let me give you my reasoning before you shut me down here. All right. We have past clients who may own businesses or whatever. I am going to hire the best person. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hire the best person. I don't necessarily want to say for the best price, but value has to be in line with what you're doing and what I'm paying. And I will do my best to, if I have two people and they're both equally good at the job and the price per value is there, and one person's a past client and one person has never supported me or any of my businesses, I'm going to go with my past client.
But that's part of it.
I have lost business in the past because, I mean, they were a past client and quite frankly, they were not amazing to serve. And, well, and they were like, well, I gave you money. And I'm like,
well, so this is the thing. So for anybody's listening to this, everything we do is setting us up for the next thing. So everything's a job interview, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are paying somebody and you treat them like shit, guess what? That wasn't a good interview on that side, right? Now, I don't mean that you held your ground. I don't mean that you had certain expectations or standards. You should, but if you show somebody who that you are, they are going to believe you.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but overall though, because most people that you want to bring in to your business, most amazing people already have a job.
Yeah.
So they may not be looking. They're not looking at the post out there about finding jobs, right? So by sending out messages to my sphere and things like that, I'm going to find people that they enjoy what they do, and I might have a better opportunity that I can explore. But neither one of us know about it unless we talk. So, and then obviously, so with that said, if you are, so I guess I would say it's everybody is going to be different about what you want for your business. And yet I'm a big fan of, so if you're looking to hire somebody, the first thing you should do is pick up, every time you talk to somebody, have your spiel ready. And so if I was talking to him about something and I was looking to hire somebody, I was like, hey, by the way, before you leave, I'm growing and I'm looking for this type of person that does this. Do you know anybody that fits that? And he's going to say yes or no. Sometimes they might say, well, yeah, you know what? You just described Jenny, but she's happy where she's at. Hey, look, I'm only looking for happy people.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if I called Jenny?
Does Jenny like being happier?
Yeah. Well, would it be okay if I called Jenny and I let her know that that you had referred her? Now, granted, I understand Jenny might not be looking for a job, but what we know,
build a bench.
I want to build a bench, but what we also know is people hang out with people that are like them. So Jenny might have an amazing person that I don't even know about, and now you've you may have found a Jenny or you found somebody through her, right? So that's where, having those conversations, and then in social media, letting people know what you're looking for. Because again, now not always, you are going to find some amazing people that are looking on the job sites and things like that. And yet a lot of times just don't be surprised that somebody's been watching your organization for a really long time. And when they see that you're looking to hire that person, they're like, "Oh, that's me!" I love that organization. And if you find somebody like that, and this is a whole separate hiring thing, but if you find somebody and they're not the right fit, just have the correct conversation of, basically based on what you've shared with me about what you're looking for, I'm actually not the right job for you. I would be doing a disservice if I hired you. So I would love to keep, if this is, be honest. So I wouldn't say this wasn't, but I'd love to keep your information, because when that type of job comes up, I'd love to revisit it with you. But you know who I think you might be great for? This other organization, and they're amazing. Let me connect you with that.
We just did that this week. Yeah. We actually hired somebody. And they interviewed great. Everything was great. We gave them the standards and the job description, and it didn't go well. They came and they said, "Hey, this is just a little different than what I thought it was going to be."
That's right, 100%, and which is fair. You should be interviewing them, and they're interviewing you. Let's make sure that we have a meeting of the minds that this is what I thought it was before we go into business.
Yeah, well, we had to make a quick hire. We didn't really have much of a choice. It was either that or I'm hopping in a van for a weekend. That everybody loses money if I'm in a van, right? And so.
Well, you can hire thoroughly quickly also.
Yeah.
It just sounds like what you did.
I actually think we found a good person who has a seat on the bus, just not that seat.
Yeah.
And so they came to us, and I have so much respect for this person. So if anybody thinks I'm hating on them, I'm not. And if they listen to this, they probably don't. But if they did, I want you to know that I'm proud of you, and I have more respect for you now than I did 2 weeks ago. And so they came and they said, "Hey, I actually cried about coming to work today." And we're like, "Whoa, I get excited to go to work every day.
Yeah.
You know, I want our people to get excited to go to work every day. And we were like, oh, well, we hate hearing that. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, well, I guess I just didn't fully understand. And I'm like, well, what specifically? And then they told us, and we're like, well, it's right here. We specifically said it, but maybe that just wasn't a highlight for you.
Well, or there's a difference between like looking at it and going, and then doing it and going, oh, like I didn't think about like I'm going to be in the car, you know, depending on the job, I was going to be in the car for this much time by myself, or I was going to be doing this, but you know, so absolutely. Sometimes it's the learn thing. Yeah. I have huge respect for somebody that'll come back and say, hey, I get you said this and I thought I understood it, but now I've done it. That's not the best fit. Like, how can you either make it right or how can you find somebody else? Because I don't want to disappoint you and I don't want to be crying to go to work every day either.
Yeah, no, and that's what they did. And so when I walked in Amy's office and we were talking, and Amy, like, she wasn't mad by any means. She was actually just disappointed. Right. Well, did I mess up? Did I not put the expectation out? Did I not hire her correctly? And I said, well, walk me through the process. Yeah. Tell me exactly what you didn't know. I said, no. I said, I think there was just a difference of expectation, and then she didn't like the adaptation of that change. Yeah. And so... But the person came in and had a great talk with Amy.
An adult conversation to say, hey, this is what it is. Right? This is next steps. Yeah.
She said, hey, I don't think this is for me. And I'm not going to leave you hanging.
That's right.
And we were like, oh, okay. So we had other people that we didn't interview that were a fit. And so we went and interviewed. We had interviews the very next day.
That's right. Yeah,
found somebody who is young and hungry, and which we want every position in our company to be a growth position, not a stagnant. We don't want to service a role. We want to grow a person, and then we can hire more people and grow the business and do more, right?
That's right.
And so we, I just, in that, so we hired someone 2 or 3 days later. They're going to start this next week. And because we had so much respect for this young lady coming and telling us the truth, not walking out, not leaving us hanging, even though she didn't want to be there, you know, she had a smile on her face the entire time.
Yes.
No one would have known anything was wrong with her.
Yeah.
And she will walk out of that door with respect from me.
That's right. And
this next week.
And the interesting thing is one day, there may be a job that fits her.
Well, so that's my point going into this is we actually went and found her a job interview. Yeah. We were so impressed with her character and integrity. We're like, hey, this isn't the right organization for her because we're a growth organization.
That's right.
And she just said, she's like, I don't want to work like y'all. She said, I have watched Harrison.
Yeah.
I have watched these other people. I don't want to work like you. Yeah. I want to work a 9 to 5. I want to go home to my family.
That's right.
I'm done.
100%.
And so we went and found the pay scale that she's looking for with the job description she's looking for, and found one of our partners and said, I think this is the person you're looking for. Yeah. They're interviewing together on Monday.
That's right. Yeah.
And so that is like, when you talk about it's, you know, how you treat people and all that, like that is, it's a good circle of life. I use the word circle of life so much in my company because it is like our lead flow and all of our teams, you know, putting together. It's a circle of life. Nobody wins without the next step in the process. Right. And this is one of those situations where she got to show up with integrity, and then we got to exit with integrity. Yes. And I'm really, really thankful. And I don't know that next opportunity is going to work out, but I know that I can exit with my head up. She can exit with her head up. And I think everybody will exit with respect.
That's right. Well, and that's the core is not everybody's for everybody. Not everybody's for every job. Not everybody's for every business. Not everybody's for every role. And that's completely okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or a good person. Now, with what you said, like that was... Like that's somebody that we all now want to know because of the way they handled it.
Oh, she's eligible for rehire.
Oh yeah.
Like if we were to have another position role in another company that was an 8:30 to 5, 9 to 5 that did not require before or after work, and it was a service role rather than a growth role. If she applied, she would 100% be considered, and she'd probably move to the top of the list. Yeah,
and so that's the So now we want to take because I think that was great information, and if we circle that back to now, so we talked about Google Business, Google Reviews. We started talking about like social media, and if you're looking for something, post it on the social media. So this is where, I haven't even talked to you about this, but recently I'm taking on like no more than 3 or 4, and I'll kind of tell you why, but 3 or 4 people to help with their social media because what that's going to actually look like is I will assume their identity, right? So nobody else should know that it's not them, except that the posts get better, more entertaining, more interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if the social world knows that I'm actually a 24-year-old Filipino woman.
Right. That's right.
No, seriously, I am. It's how I identify on social media. Right. I wonder how many people are going to get that.
Some will.
It got creepy. Yeah. I have a VA.
Yeah, a virtual assistant that does some of his postings for him.
Yeah, I have scheduled posting on certain topics. It's her job to go into Canva, make an art, and then it's a ChatGPT message. approved by me, of course. And then you'll know that which posts are mine because it's long, it's leadership, it's business, it's whatever. It's about my kids. Like those are my authentic personal posts. A lot of that is, I mean, some stuff we're going to talk about, but staying consistent and staying relevant and social. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, and so like you understood that enough to go then hire somebody and bring that in. It took 10 years, right? Like for you to get there or to understand all that, right?
Oh, I said I'd never do it.
Right.
I was like, no, I want all my posts to be authentic. I'm like, how many authentic posts can you, like it takes me an hour to write some of this shit.
Well,
like,
but what I mean you had to understand social media at a high level to be able to engage people with your social media. Forget hiring somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times what I'm finding in some businesses is they don't utilize their social media at a high level because they don't understand it. And for them to then go in and like learn all this stuff, it's basically they have to put on another hat. Well, they're in the growth mode of their business and they're doing other things. That's not the most important. Like that's the thing that you can outsource to the right person. Because one of the companies I was talking with, they had outsourced it. The thing is because they didn't understand it, they outsourced it non-effectively. So this is where we're going to talk about your personal page, or you might, and your business page. Well, so they were paying somebody to literally just run or just make business posts on their business page. I told them, I said either, because we were talking about, I said, look, hire me to do this. And I went over everything that I would do. I said, but ultimately, if you're only doing that, quit paying that and just put that money in your pocket because it's not effective.
Correct.
So there's
don't mistake motion for production.
Just because, like 100%. So like just because you're posting something on social media, you have to ask. And the cool part is you can do this yourself. There's tons of classes, free classes on, YouTube and Google and Facebook that you can watch.
I'm going to assume that like ChatGPT will help you with this.
ChatGPT will help, but even in that, you have to make sure that you are authentic, and so you have to edit it and change it. You also so that's part of ChatGPT will help if you know what you're looking to post about, but you have to give it some direction. So
some things that you can do is you can say things like this. These are some what are the words that you're looking? What are the words I'm looking for? Yeah, prompts that you can. Thank you. Some prompts that you can use to get ChatGPT to give it first. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's get away from prompts for a second. Talking about ChatGPT. Talk to it like a human. Oh yeah, like I find myself,
I'll literally will say, I like that, thank you. And I'm laughing, I'm talking to the computer.
Yeah, no.
And then I'm like, could you clarify or could you, and matter of fact.
I don't like the second sentence. Can you reword that?
Yeah.
Or just have a conversation with it about the results you're searching for.
That's right.
And it will start moving things around and you can ask it to do it. It's not a human that gets pissed off at you.
No. But so this is the other cool part. The more you use ChatGPT, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm tongue tied when I say it. The more you use it, the more it starts to and you make adjustments, it starts to like, I can now ask it, like the other day I said create me a Facebook post about I think I said my business or whatever, or about this, and like it was vague. Now if I would have done this a year or 2 years ago, or whenever it started, right, it would have given me something very vague. But because it has, like, it keeps all the things that I've asked it, and it's had 1,000 conversations. What it spit out, I'm like, you nailed it. I made a few adjustments.
Yeah.
So you
put the human back in the post for sure.
Right. Well, and so so I guess the people that I'm talking about right now, if you understand what ChatGPT, why is that so hard for me today? If you understand that, you're probably even further along. But like whenever I talk about what I want to really point out too is if you're not doing an effective job with your social media, maybe you're not on it, maybe you have one but you don't ever post on it, things like that. There are ways. Sometimes it's going to, like, if you want to go real cheap, you can go to Etsy and find and pay $25 to $50 to $10, and they will like pre-made all these, ads about your business or, different posts.
So I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that's also what I have a VA for.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, so now this is the interesting thing though, is again, it's better than nothing, but it's only a part of the puzzle because it's, we all know that person, that maybe it's the realtor that all they post on their social media is a business page. Maybe it's a lender, maybe it doesn't matter the company, but all they post is business stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not on your personal, like we're on social media because it's social. It's getting to know each other. So while you want to bring in some business things, you can't just be about the business.
It's not about just what you do. It's about people understanding
who you are. That's right.
Yes. And so that I knew we were going to get there. And this is something I'm very passionate about when I'm teaching social media classes. And I want to let all you guys know, I don't even have a college degree. I am from the School of Hard Knocks. I have learned to run businesses as I ran businesses. Well, and I read more than you breathe.
Well, so same. Yeah. Like I turned a 2-year community college into a 4-year college. I don't have any degrees. We both study
but
a
I got
freaking
the bounce
lot.
Shot across this table. Like, yes. I got an A+ in that class.
Well, but we, because I think sometimes like we stepped out of the college spark, but then we looked at, okay, what actually works? Because this is the interesting thing. I was actually talking to another business that was about their social media, and they were like, well, my daughter just took a class. She just graduated. She's thinking about, or she's going to try it for now. And what she was telling me was good. And I said, and I'm fine. It's her daughter. Like, there's no hard feelings. And I even told her, I said, have her call me. I'd be happy to share this or talk to her. But because, and this is the thing where you have to, like, it's not just about somebody that has, like, a certificate or a degree. Like, is it effective? Because, again, what she said, so when she's only doing stuff on their business page. Yeah. If you're only going to do stuff on your business page, you have to be freaking phenomenal, either funny or engaging. You got to drive people there. Most people don't do that. So in order for a business page to effectively work, I'm going to argue that you need to spend money on your business page. That's right. The only time the only time I really care about a business page is if you are going to run ads. You have to have a business page. Yep. And then waste management guys, or the West Monroe,
the trash guys.
The trash guys, they do a pretty good job with the trash guys page, and it could be better
when you get in business with someone who's already a superstar.
Okay. Yeah, because finding that person that says, hey.
Their main business partner who's not active in the business is a country music star.
Oh, yeah. So they get like.
And so there's 2 local guys here. And I'm not talking trash about them. I use them. I support them. Like the trash guys have my endorsement. Like that's who's at my house. That's who's at my building. They're at my rent houses. I ask my business partners to use them. I want to support them. They're young local guys who are working their tails off to make a living in this world. The trash business, I don't care how much money you're backed by, is not an easy business. These guys, it's so funny. One of the owners, I was walking down the road, riding down the road, and I hear a burp, burp. And it's one of the owners in the trash truck driving. And I was like, and we all think that the other person, like we all think that we're all like the other person's elevated past you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm still going on sales appointments. I'm still doing all this stuff that I was doing 9 years ago. And then I turn around to see somebody that I perceive as a high level business owner, and they're in the trash truck driving. And it's just that whatever the fuck it takes mentality. Yeah. Love that shit. Yeah. Anyway, Trash Guys is awesome. We can get them on this show. I don't think I can get Dylan Scott on here, but the other 2 guys want to be on the show with us.
Yeah. I love just being local businesses and talk with them and works and things and find out what they've done in their short amount of time. But that's so again, there's so much things with Facebook. Like, so if you're not there and yet you want to drive more business or more connections through social media, make sure, like, talk to people, look and see what the results that they're getting. And what I mean by that, again, so like this one particular business, they'd outsourced. They're paying up, pretty good amount, but and it wasn't that they were bad posts by any means, but they were only on their business page and they were not, and so I asked the people, I said, well, who's looking at that? Who wants that information? And they're like, well, and I'm like, so that's what you have to look at is think about it as you're engaging in a conversation. If I say something like, that's green, and I was in a room full of people and nobody found it interesting enough to ask me something, I go, oh, that's not an effective topic of conversation. Yep. The same thing with your social media. Now, you don't have to we're not trying to go viral on everything. We're not trying to.
I mean, I would like to, but
it's not, like, that's not what we're, but.
My name's not Kylie Jenner. It ain't happening.
Well, not only that, but it's a niche, right? So like, even you have a large following, but it's still a niche of this area, right?
Oh yeah. So I would argue that my social media, I would call myself an area influencer. Mm-hmm. If I back something, it happens. Like I wanted to track, like there was a guy who stole $30,000 from our roofing company, and I posted on Facebook that I was giving out $10 Starbucks gift cards I ended up not doing the gift cards. I ended up just doing I did free coffee for an entire day at a local coffee shop. So if anybody wants their $10 gift card and did not come to the coffee shop, send me a message. I will honor anything I say I will do. But actually comment on this to send you a gift card. That would help me and you at the same time. Where was I going with that?
But so you posted and people went out and did what you asked them to do.
We brought that dude's Google page to a 0.3 in like 3 hours, to the point where Google actually went through and they deleted everything. And then I went and trashed it again. But anyway, that is the power of social media.
That's right.
And so just like I can drive negative things to people, we can, through our influence and through what we're doing in social media, we can drive positivity, such as, we did a fundraiser for a food shelter a few years ago. And we said we would match it up to I think 10 G's. We ended up raising 20 G's, and then we wrote the full match at 10. Mm-hmm. And so we, in 24 hours, raised that amount of money for that. And we did that through the power of social influence.
Well, and you can so that's the thing, is you can only do that if you are doing stuff that people are engaged with. So, what are you, and the thing is, so I want you to go, okay, if you don't already have like a great business page, don't build one. Start with your personal. Start maxing it out. Start engaging with people. And that's where what said, like I said, I'm taking on a handful of people where I'm creating that for them, but in their voice. There are other people that can do that. Or you can reach out to me and see if it's even a fit. But the big piece is you want to have, when you're talking your social media, you want to have, yes, you have business stuff on there, but the biggest thing is once I know you and I trust you and I like you, and then I know this is what you do. When I need that or somebody needs that, that's who I'm going to go to.
But the who is what's going to connect you, not the what. And what I mean by that is I know what you do, but until I know who you are, until I have trust, until I know your family. People
don't care what you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
Once I've connected with you, I've invited you into my house, right? Through through looking at you on my phone and social media, I'm going to be more likely to engage with you. And when I'm looking for that service or that thing, go to you.
Yeah. And you never know what you can make a connection with people about on your post. For instance, all right, guys, so here's some things about me if you don't know that. I have an adopted brother. I believe in adoption. I love adoption. In fact, I would argue that I feel like my adopted brother is more a part of our family and has more privilege in our family than all the biological children in our family. Right? Because we care about making him feel like he's a part of our family every single day. He don't look like us. He ain't the same skin color. Nothing, right? But he knows he is my brother and he loves that. I love my kids. I have no biological kids. It's a part of my family. I believe in the spirit of adoption, right? Mm-hmm. I'm helping raise 2 kids that are not biologically mine, and I feel every bit of ownership with them, and I love those children. I love being competitive. And so I'm giving you some examples, right? I share these emotions and these experiences via social, and that is how people go, you love adoption. I love adoption. We're wanting to save money so that we can afford to adopt another kid. And then now we're friends because we have connected via something powerful. You love being competitive. I love being competitive. 2 competitive people typically have something to connect over, whether it's weightlifting or pickleball or whatever that thing is, right? And people want to be in business with people like them. And so just simply knowing what you do is one small piece of it. Mm-hmm. Them knowing who you are and connecting is another. I had a business coach at my house this week, and he was talking about an agent that he was coaching. And we were talking about this exact, letting people know who you are, what you stand for, what your belief systems are, so that they can connect with all that. And I'd say be careful in a small market on your belief systems.
Well, be intentional. Just because, be intentional.
So anyway, but there was a guy, and this is a billionaire, right? He was wanting to buy a vacation home. And this girl was not she wasn't the most experienced agent. She wasn't the biggest luxury agent. But you know what she was really good at? She let people know what she did. And then she was intentional about letting people know who she was.
Well, and why it's important to them. Because that's the other, I want to come back, finish that thought. I want to come back and talk features and benefits.
He connected with her because it was, oh, dude, she loves her kids. But she's also, whenever she's working, she's all in on work. She's intentional about her actions and what she's doing. It aligned with him. She got a $3 million sale. If you don't know what a $3 million sale looks like in real estate,
nice.
We work off percentages. Now, I would say, in my experience, is like the higher you go, maybe people are more malleable. In these luxury areas, they're not. They're getting 2.5%–3% on this kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's why the DOJ went after our commissions. But I mean, so just do the math. Let's just call it. Let's just say 2% on $3 million, guys. I'm not real good at math, but
I know it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's to the tune of 60 G's
Mm-hmm.
she got that sale not because she was the best. She got it because she was relatable and intentional about her social media presence.
Well, and that's the interesting thing. So again, we think sometimes like it's about being the best, but if you're the best and nobody knows about you, doesn't matter, right?
I don't think I am the best realtor. Now, am I a listing agent? I'll argue. I do think I'm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anybody there better than me. But I don't think the overall realtor. Like there are agents who are more caring than me, more loving than me, more empathetic than me. That are maybe a little bit more relational. You don't know the difference. I am so hyper focused on lead generation and connecting with people via socials and via meetings and all those things that people choose me because they know about me.
And not only that, but if people don't know about you, they can't choose you.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we
got to be top 3.
Yeah, you should get and so part
in
of
mind.
Yeah,
in mind share.
In mind share, and so that's part of the way that we're going to do it is we're going to do it through social media. So. So there's I want to talk about features and benefits in a second, but I do want, if you're watching this and you're going, well, how do I, what's the first steps? If you're going to take this on yourself, a super simple one is decide what you're going to post about, create a system for it, and then pay attention. Now, so if you post something, whether it's a photo or not, whether it's strictly about your family or your business or kind of a combination of both, or am I getting likes and comments? A great way to start, legit, start small. You're going to look, if I got over 4 comments and over 10 likes, I'm going to count that as a win, right? It doesn't have to be, you're not like, and then if you got 20 likes and no comments, I'd say, okay, you're in the right ballpark, right? Like that's where you want to start with. The other piece that you want to do is interact with like Facebook algorithms. The more that you are connecting with people, the more they're going to show. They go, oh, they're interested in what you have to say, and it's going to post.
If you're relevant, Facebook will make you more relevant.
That's right. So a good rule of thumb is we call this Lisa Archer taught me this a long time ago. It's the 5, 5, and 5.
Okay.
So what that is you intentional so that you're not on Facebook all day, scroll,
Yeah, we don't want you death scrolling.
Don't death scroll.
Facebook.
Don't be. It's 15. When you're being intentional with your business, you go, okay, I'm going to spend during my lead gen time or whatever. I'm going to spend 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, whatever that looks like. If you're on it any other time, you're just playing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as it,
so
for you.
I heard this. I went to this Christian CEO men's event. And he said something extremely powerful and meaningful to me that made me extremely aware of my behaviors. And this is what he said. He said that leaders create content, followers consume content. Mm-hmm. If you are wanting to be a business leader, I implore you to get the fuck off of social media unless you are creating content or connecting with people.
Or learning. But again, being very intentional about that,
but
right?
how many people's
not being on
For You page and
hours.
How many people, when I scroll through, I can guarantee you this, if it is a dude, there's a lot of half-naked girls and there's a lot of broology on there.
Well, that's what
and if it's a girl, you're watching cats or dogs or half-naked people, whatever.
Right now, I'm all about how to do cookies. So, but just keep in mind, you're doing keep in mind that
business
scrolling
owners
is
create.
But sometimes,
followers consume.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you. What I mean by learning is if you don't know what people are wanting to look at. But again, it's being intentional. If you're just doom scrolling for 6 hours, that ain't what I'm talking about.
You're wasting your life. You are being sheeple.
Yeah.
Hate me if you want for being that harsh on you. Yeah. But we're here to grow leaders and grow businesses. If you're doom scrolling, you are falling into the trap. Right. I attended a CEO meeting this week. I'm part of the Louisiana Economic Development Roundtable. I go there once a month. And they had the tech director who still lives here locally. And he was talking to us about cybersecurity. And he said something that was, it resonated with me. And he said, the internet is here for three things. He goes, all the social media, everything, money, sex, power. And they are crafting you into the person that they believe you should be so that they can sell you content and make you consume more, spend more, and do whatever it is they want you to do. And I 100% believe that as I'm raising a 17-year-old daughter.
That's right. Well, this is the interesting thing. It's I think sometimes we make things bad or good. No, it's just like, even like sometimes, like I always laugh. There was a senator or something, like they were talking to people about what on their Facebook, like they were like, all the things I see on there are they keep showing you what you're looking at. So if you only seeing naked girls, it's because that's what you're looking at.
It's because you're Googling naked girls,
That's
homie.
right. Like, because even my brothers,
I do.
Avery,
I get a lot of motivational quotes and books and stuff.
But
that is my For You page.
That's right. But I don't see a lot of again, I've got a brother that we were laughing because he's getting a lot of like, and when I say right wing, I'm not talking I'm saying like the extreme stuff, like women need to be barefoot and pregnant and everybody and every woman's evil and all that, right? And
this is not a representation of this show.
No, well, and he also gets things like, again, we were talking about but he gets things that are like I don't know. He told me like somebody got beheaded. I'm like, I've never seen. I didn't even know that was out there.
This man is Googling a lot of Fox News and what is that? Al Jazeera.
That's right. And so, and the thing is, so the more you look at it, and the more that's what they keep sharing with you. Well, because the algorithm is not. They're
giving you what they think you will consume. They're not putting food on the plate that they think you're going to push away.
They're doing what they think that you want to do. So you have to build what you want. So like I'm really much like if something comes up on my thing and it's not something that I want, I make sure that I get out and change it and you can anyway. So we won't go into all that. But if you're if you're gonna scroll, build your scroll around stuff that is beneficial for you, and then you can utilize some of that into your social media and things to that effect.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back to the 555.
So the 555. So what that means is set time of day, because we're talking about being intentional. You're gonna go to your friends list and you're gonna comment on 5 of their posts. You're gonna like our emoji or whatever, and another 5 people, and then you're going to send 5 people through Messenger a message. Now, I'll do my best when this podcast come out to put some things in the notes about this, because like when I say message them, don't just message them about your business and be like,
that's rude.
I'm selling windows this week. Would you? No. What I mean, because again, you've got to create a connection before you make an ask. So what I mean by that is if I saw that Harrison did something really cool, I might shoot him a private message and say,
that was awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah. I know that that's something that you've been wanting to do for years. Like, I'm going to connect with him. So the whole part of social media is you have to connect first, right? So that's what the 5, 5, and 5 is about. And then when you're making your social media post, I want you to think about a combination of things. So if you're talking about something that your business does, instead of just posting a flyer, why is that? And this is where it becomes features and benefits. Why is that actually beneficial to the person that would buy that or would use that, right?
Yeah. And all, yes, both beneficial in why would they engage in that content?
That's right. And tell a story. Make it something that people would want to engage with.
Yeah. Engage, educate, or entertain.
That's correct. And that's a really good.
If you're not doing one of those 3 things, then I would argue that whatever you did, I really hope it was about your kids and how much you love them, because otherwise you wasted words.
Well, so actually I love that. Yeah. So that if you're taking notes here, those are great ones. So you're going to look at your post. Did that engage people? Did that entertain people? Did that educate, right?
Yeah. If you're not doing, do you agree? Like if you're not doing one of those 3 things, you're out.
That's right. And keep in mind that, again, we're not trying to be like comedians necessarily. So when we say engage or entertain, it was again, like, so I bought, this is a random thing, but the other day I have a was it the nutrition bullet thing or whatever. The blades things at the bottom have got burnt up, so I had bought the replacement of that bottom part, and I found myself in my kitchen with the thing that it will work, but not very well, and it smells because it doesn't, like when it burns, when it spins.
Oh,
because
I
it
was
doesn't.
like, Olivia, have you considered a dishwasher?
Yeah, the spinning part, right?
Okay.
And so, I, put my thing together that I had bought, and then I was standing there, and I was like, well, maybe I should save this. And I was like, well, that's dumb. Like, I just bought the replacement. Well, yeah, but it can work. Anyway, so I made a Facebook post about how come there's times that we know, we replaced it. Why do we not go ahead and throw the thing away?
Absolutely.
And so and somebody posted like, oh my gosh, I did the same thing. So that's what I mean by like engaging. Mm-hmm. You're creating content that other people are like, well, I do that too. Or, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. So you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be jokes, but like it can be about your life. Just, is it something that, and then again, it doesn't have to be anything like super structured, but if you make posts and you're like, nobody posted on that, nobody commented, that's probably not something, the time was wrong, or that's just not something that other people found engaging or educational or, and yeah.
And timing is wrong is a real thing. I was at a Tom Ferry conference. He has a guy named Jason Pantana, who is his head of marketing. Now this dude is like legit the real deal. And he said, reusing content is sometimes I post something that's way before the trend. And I didn't know it. I didn't know the trend was coming. And then I realized that a trend hit, and I've already made a video about it. I repost it, and something that was a dud turned into a stud.
That's right.
And so pay attention to the trends and make sure, don't delete your clips. Don't delete your content. Don't do that. Save it. It may be worth reposting later. He has had things that literally had 2 or 3 likes turn into 50,000 likes where Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call it is writing him a $5,000 check.
That's right.
For the content he created 2 years ago, and he was just ahead of the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%. And that's where when we talk about, so like, if you're not doing this right now, a lot of the stuff that we've just said, you're like I can't do all that. So this is where you're going to step back and you're going to choose one thing or to learn and start doing that and watching videos on that and reading up on that. Or you're going to say, okay, I have this amount of money in my budget. Can I find somebody that can effectively do that? Don't just anybody, because some people will charge you and you're like, but now at least you know what you're looking for. Like, are you getting some comments? Are you getting some likes? Are you getting some engagement? And of course, when people engage, I also want to make sure if somebody engages to you with your comment, you posted something and underneath it, they commented, freaking go back and comment. Thank you. Comment something.
I feel there. I'm so busy. I don't have time. I don't want somebody commenting for me. And at the same time, that's what it's coming down to right now. Olivia and I right now are working on, if you guys don't know about the service, there's one called Fiverr, Fiverr. And then there's another one. The one we're utilizing currently is called Upwork, UPWORK.com. And you can get on there and create job posts for virtual assistants from the United States all the way to Timbuktu and everything in between.
For like a specific thing, right?
Yeah. So we're currently, we've been very inconsistent. You guys are going to notice this. I'm going to post it later. We're sorry we've been inconsistent. We've had some changes in our lives, and then we've had some job changes and role changes in our companies. And so we have not been consistent. Now, we've still been recording. You guys just haven't gotten the content. It hasn't been edited properly. And so we are currently working on hiring a new videographer via Upwork right now. I'm interviewing 3 people. One's about to pitch me is when I get off this. One's pitching me what they want to charge and all that. You can go there, and I want you guys to know, don't be afraid by what they post they want to get paid. I have negotiated people from X per hour down to about 40% of that to a very, very affordable rate. Now, that's not me being a complete jerk. I'm paying out in Indian rupees. Okay.
Well,
the conversion
it doesn't
rate
matter,
is good
though.
Money.
Well, but to me, that does not even matter.
It does to me. I do care how much people make, but I also don't want to get ripped.
No, that's what I mean. Like I do 100% care. I want people to, but it's value. The other piece is let's say that you only have.
We have a low budget.
Yeah. Well, that's so you want to set a budget. You want to determine what it is that we can pay for this thing that will get us these results. Yeah. And so if you see somebody that's doing something, you're like, hey, and that's what I mentioned, like with, let's say you you message us and you're like, hey, Olivia, tell me more about what you do or whatever. I'm going to say, okay, first off, what's your budget? Based on that, these are some things that I can do. But if I just quoted you and said, this is what I charge, you would look at it and you might go, well, that's outside my budget.
Yeah.
Well, now this is the interesting thing. If it is outside of your budget, a lot of times what people can do, whether it's Upworks, me, or whoever, they can say, look, that is what you're not going to get that. Like nobody can do that. But if you back it up and you just did this much, you could get that in your budget and then later add something on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's 100%. And but I do just because a number's out there, it doesn't hurt to at least ask, like, hey, you're probably worth every bit of that. I can't afford that. Is there an option? Can we look at this? And then see what happens.
Yeah, and that's how, and so that was actually a really good, so I disagreed with Olivia's objection. And then after she reframed it, I do agree with her. It wasn't even an objection. It was just a reframe is all it was. So while we're talking about like the algorithm, and mine's not perfect, that is a good one. That is definitely, that's actually where I started. I didn't realize that that's where I started, but I did after you explained it. So mine's a little bit different. Mine is, so max out your friends list as soon as humanly possible and top grade them at all times. It's very unfortunate, but people pass away. They don't need to be on your social media anymore. People change. Some people, like for me, like we sell higher end things like houses and roofs and construction and stuff like that. If people are holding joints in their hand and flipping off the camera with a flat bill hat on and their pants are down at their knees, they're no longer my friend on social media. I am top grading my relationships.
I don't do that. But this is what I will do.
I do.
If you post something that causes my
I do that too.
My whole body to get hot because I think it's either stupid or mean or whatever.
Uneducated, bigoted.
Yes, going to, now what I do is, because I don't do drama. No, I'm not going to engage. So those people, I will choose like what's that unfollow button where they can see my stuff, but they can't post on it. They
get
can't.
Rid of them. My page is a follow page anyway.
Well, the problem is then I don't know who, because the number of people I have now, I may not remember them. So then when they send me another friend request, now I'm right back in the whole thing. I don't know.
When people, that feeling that you have, which is that like, don't want to hang out with them.
Or when I feel like,
I remember that feeling.
Well, when somebody because this is what happens is like, so if like somebody will post something and everything in me, I want to engage. Like I want to call them stupid and I go, wait a minute, I'm not winning anything.
There's no W there for a business owner.
No.
Stay off social. Yeah.
And nobody's ever changed anybody's mind. Well,
I'm in an educated debate, but most of the time it's keyboard warriors.
Right. Well,
don't engage in that shit.
Right. Well, there's a difference. So like my favorite. So what I'm talking about is that person that's so far outside. Like I'm just not gonna deal with that.
Yeah.
It's not worth my peace because I'm not winning anything by spending my time even thinking about that. Now, when we look at, but now there are times like somebody had posted about what time kids go to school, and you had a lot of people on there that were like, saying like, why are you doing this and all this stuff? And so that I do think like it was a discussion. And so on there, I posted, I said, now be whatever it is, I said, but everybody should probably do some research on this because this is what I've discovered is we are number 48th, but we in like education in Louisiana, but do you know that we are number 1 in what time our kids go to school? And there is proven like research that kids' brains don't work that way, right? Yeah. So I put all this, and my favorite was this guy came back and he goes, I didn't think about it from that perspective of how this benefits the kids. And he said, and I'm going to go do some research. It's amazing what happens when
you put facts out in front of people and don't argue like you're a dumbass. Like no, actually, did you know that Louisiana is number 48 in education, but number 1 on when kids get to school and how long they stay there? And studies are finding there's a correlation that breaks in physical activity and time on task is more important than time wasted in a building. That's right. Well, and so now we're just in a daycare. Yeah, we're in a daycare situation.
That's right. So and so I think so for both of us, where it's just like in real life. If Harrison said something I didn't like,
she would call me and let me know about it very quickly.
But in a respectful manner, like, hey, what happened or whatever.
It is.
But it is respectful.
It's direct,
but I'm not called. It's direct, but I'm not going to call. So I think that's the other thing. Like, if you find yourself getting in all these, pissing matches online, number one, you are so distracted. You are not focused on your number one. So quit it.
You're not creating. You're consuming. Get out.
And number two, like, are you paying attention to your verbiage? Because this happens in real life and online. But if somebody says something, and we tend to do this more online because we can't get punched in the mouth online. But if somebody says something that you disagree with,
they should get punched in the mouth.
Instead of like feeling attacked and attacking them, you might just go, tell me more about that. Or, actually, I don't see it that way. So I didn't use the word disagree. I didn't say he was right. I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
And that's all, right? We don't. And now there's difference between somebody coming to us and asking us and going, okay, we're going to engage in this. But if you are grown and you didn't ask for my opinion and you're not looking for a solution, all I'm doing is refeeding, because the more you argue about how right you are, guess what? The more right you are. So anyway, so that's kind of a side note. And also
the dumber you look, if we're being completely honest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right, let me go back to my thing. All right, so first thing, max out your friends list. You can have 5,000 people. After 5,000 people,
you can have followers.
You can become a follow page. You can also get monetized through follow page. And I could be wrong, and I don't know this. You can turn into a follow page before 5,000. I don't know the answer to that question.
So what he's talking about is the you can become a digital creator. You can do that before 5,000, but you have followers and then people that are following you, right? So
people that are following you is more impactful than people who are friends with you.
That's right.
Because they have opted in to follow your content, even though y'all are not friends.
And one of the ways, so reels, one of the things that videos and reels, those are going to get people that, now some people, your friends might see the reels. That's great. But what it's going, and when I say friends, I mean Facebook friends. But what it is when you do reels, that actually shows up to people that don't know you. So it's a way of getting people to come into your page or
which is the purpose for us doing this today right here.
That's right.
Yeah. So max it out, top grade it. I would say top grade quarterly. Don't spend a ton of time on it.
So, birthday. So this is the way you do that. So when he
I'm getting there.
Okay, dang it.
Jesus.
You're not fast enough.
All right. Well, maxing out and top grading is important.
I know, but I can do it by using the birthdays as my
birthdays are next. No. So this is a guaranteed one touch per person in your social database per year. And it's this. You max it out, you top grade it. It's a happy birthday message and a comment on their social media page. So
that's good, but that's not what I'm talking about. So when we look at top grading or things like that, so Facebook will show you everybody's birthdays. A good rule of thumb, and this is also to help build your database, a good rule of thumb is have a day of every month. So let's say the 27th of every month. You're going to look at all the birthdays for the next month. Depending on what business you're in, you can go through and look at those. Who are those people that are not in your database that should be?
Yep.
I can also go ahead and pre-write. If I'm a business that does birthday things, I can pre-write 15, 30, 20, how many ever birthday cards for the entire month. Now I've got, or set them up in my system that does it, sends it out automatically, right? And now, so I'm not having to do it all the time. And then now's a great time when you go through the Facebook or the birthdays for the next month, you can look at it and go, they don't need to be in there anymore. This doesn't. And there's also something that's called tags. So I'm a big believer in creating groups in my Facebook so I can put people. So right now I can post something on Facebook and I can make a post and say anybody that I have tagged as a realtor, I don't want them to see it. I can make another post and say anybody except for, I have another group called family, or I have another group, so I get to pick and choose who sees what. Though for the most part, all of my stuff is public because that's the point of it.
Correct. Yeah.
And yet, so that's where, and that's when we started this, and I said there's so much to do with social media.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it all. You're going to do a couple of things. You're going to do, number one, you're going to say, okay, what's the one thing that I'm going to start first? And I love that, maximizing your friends and getting people, or adding people and getting people to actually engage. Or if you're like, I have a budget for this, let me go research and find out who does what and who uses what and see if that might be what I want to do. with that said, don't spend money just because you have it. So make sure
if you want to waste money, I'll give you mine. Like
right.
GoFundMe or something.
So just because somebody says, oh, I can post that on Facebook, or oh, I can give you that, talk to other people that have used that service or something similar to see if that is what you want to happen. Like, are you getting what you want to happen? And it's not just about like, okay, yay, I put something on my Facebook page every day. No,
it's intentional posts. All right. So the next part of our formula is, all right, so the happy birthday, that's a touch to your your social database every single year. And we want to send them a message, and then we want to comment on their wall, on their social wall.
And a
right?
video, it does not have to be a video message. And if it is a video message, it's even better.
Yeah, so everything I'm saying is leveled up by doing video.
Correct.
Yeah. And then on our socials and what we're doing now, we're not getting into reels and stuff today. In fact, we're about out of time. We got 1 minute left. But next is daily posts. Jason Pantana with Tom Ferry, who I would argue is an expert in this space. He says there is no such thing as over posting. A lot of people want to say, well, I don't want to post too much, blah, blah, blah. And truthfully, at minimum, you should be posting. An expert should be posting 3 times a day.
At a minimum. Well, and so it's not that people only, it's kind of like email or anything. You don't want to post too much boring shit on Facebook.
Yeah.
You don't want to send boring emails.
But if you can engage through entertainment or education.
At 100%. Like, so whether it's 3 or 10.
Yeah.
But if you haven't been doing it, start with 2, 3, 1. Depends on what's your next level.
Day. Yeah. Let's implement, then perfect. But if you can get 3 pieces of great content per day, here's your posting schedule, guys. You want to be right as people are getting to work. Because what's something people do as soon as they have their coffee and they go to the restroom and use the restroom and they go sit down at their desk, and right before they open up their work laptop or they clock in, they scroll for a second. They do it. That sweet spot, and I'm not Angelique. I wish Angelique was here, but I believe it's somewhere between 7 and 8:30.
That's right. Well, and Google, this is the other thing. Google, you can Google and say whatever, and ChatGPT will tell you this. ChatGPT will tell you the exact, the times.
Next is at their lunch break, 12 to 1 o'clock. Next is at 4 to 5:30, 4 to 6, when people are generally getting off work. This is their defrag gray space moments. And if you can catch any traction throughout the day, because this is why. So as you're getting likes and comments on your content and you're replying back to people and liking, what you're telling Meta in the engagement algorithm is that people like you and you like them and they like having conversations with you. They call it social media because they desire for you to be social. If the more eyeballs that Meta can get in Facebook and get in Instagram, the more power and money they make. And you're helping them gain that power and money. Therefore, they're going to reciprocate by giving you more attention. Right. That is our basic formula. We do more stuff. We do better stuff, and we spend a ton of money, right? Our ad budget, it used to be, we started out at a few $1,000s a month. We made it to $10,000 a month like 5 years ago. A year or 2 ago, we were at $30,000 a month. We're bumping big money now.
And keep in mind, though, like when you first start, that's the other thing I would say, do not be that person. Even if you have $30,000 sitting in an account somewhere.
Gary Keller says, what about building a business? What is it? What do we lead with?
Lead with revenue.
We lead with revenue. That is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. That is one of the most monumental comments to me when people start businesses and they want to come start a business with me because I know how to build them and I have money to inject into them. And they go, well, we can do all these ads right up front. So whoa.
There's steps, right?
I don't care how much money I have. I am never just going to dump money into this. I can dump money into a business all I want until you understand what to do with the leads and you have processes built. You will squander that money. You lead with revenue. If your people aren't doing anything with the advanced basics and the tools, then they won't do anything with the leads that you generate by spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on the leads. I started my real estate business by spending everything I had saved. I had 6 figures saved up in real estate. I spent all that money with Zillow and Realtor.com. You know how many times I closed one of those leads? 0. And I went broke and I had to go get a job. I did not have the skills to scale with the money that I was spending. Now you give me that same ad spend today and I'll turn $100,000 into $1 million. because I grew with revenue.
That's right. And so, yeah.
After
100%.
I was broke.
That's right. Well, and so,
but I learned a very expensive lesson.
Yeah.
I just saved you guys 6 figures.
That's right. Well, so just because you have the money to spend it, don't spend it all right immediately. Create a plan. Find somebody that knows the plan. Again, it might be that you're hiring that person to do it, but make sure you're hiring the right person, that they not only can they talk the talk with you, but can they talk the talk? Like, if you're not a social media person, don't just assume that the person that's selling you this thing has worked. Go, okay, great. Can we do one more call about this and invite somebody that you know, that not just social media because they're on it, but somebody that gets business from social media, somebody that, and say, hey, could you be on this call with me? Look, even if you had to pay, like, let's say you called Harrison and you're like, hey, Harrison, and you're like, Harrison, can you do that? And Harrison's like, I don't have time. And you go, I'll give you $2,000. Now, I'm not saying he's charging $2,000 or anything. What I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is,
nobody wants to hear that next statement.
But whatever because this is the thing is, whatever the amount it costs to get that person on there, because it will 100% save you. Now, granted, you probably have somebody in your world that will just do it for no charge. I'm just saying, like, that investment up front is way more important than spending, like, again, that the company that I was talking about, they were spending $500 a month, but they weren't getting anything from it. And I, in like 2 minutes, said, don't do that. Either spend that money over here or don't do that. Like, save it.
Yeah.
Because but again, and it wasn't through any fault of the person that they had hired. They were doing what they were hired to do.
Yeah.
The thing is the person that hired them didn't understand to go, we want this because this is the result. Mm-hmm. So that's where
you're looking
what's
for
the
an
result?
ROI out of this.
What's the result and how are you going to get me there?
Yeah. I'm not on socials for funsies. I'm on socials to make money.
I enjoy socials. And I like the fact that Facebook gives me a little bit of money every month too for my post and things.
Yeah, so, they do. All right. We've had good months, we've had bad months, but we do get paid every month. All right, guys, that is our time. We are actually new format here. Our goal is an hour or less. I'm actually going to get a shot clock right here for me and Olivia.
Oh, that'd be great.
We probably went over about 5 to 10 minutes here, but the goal is 1 hour or less. More information, less time, more
and
structure.
Having some specific topics.
Yeah. And so we're going to deliver that product. And I promise you, the reels are about to be fucking awesome. And we're going to deliver on a consistent basis to you guys.
Right.
We're excited about delivering you awesome content. If you find it in your heart, like, comment, share, subscribe on our YouTube channel. We would like to blow this thing up. We both enjoy it. We hope you do too. And like today, I definitely think we delivered value today. I definitely think in the last 3 minutes, I bet we saved people 6 figures and helped them launch their social media platform effectively. So y'all do that. We'll continue to do this. We love you. Thank you. See you on the next episode.
All right, let's go.